Hi, welcome to video 3 of the Virtual Assistants training course. This video will be all about, or this sort of tutorial will be all about stranded infantry and unfulfillable infantry. Now, as you can see, this is the page where you are able to see if you have any stranded infantry or unfulfillable infantry, which you'll see down in this hand side here. You can ignore the draft listings. And as a virtual assistant, you may be asked by your sort of hiring Amazon business owners to monitor this and either and take action on some of them or inform them of other things, and which I'll go over now. So to find where this section of the portal is when you come over to catalog, just click catalog and it will take you to this page. Okay. And obviously you'd have to make sure you're able to get access to that part from your hiring Amazon sellers sort of permission to sort of see this part of the program or the account, so that you can then go on and do this. Now, stranded infantry and unfulfillable infantry are slightly different. Stranded usually means that something has happened to the listing of the product is no longer active. It can be for a variety of reasons, but we'll just drill in and I'll show you my example. So we can go in and you can see it's saying incomplete. So what's interesting here, it's incomplete and it's basically, it's very difficult to figure out what this is. Okay, so what we are going to do here is we are going to try to find out what it is. Now, the quickest and easiest way to find out what the product is to start with is to take the ASIN here, is to copy the ASIN and then go into amazon.co.uk and just paste the ASIN into the search bar of where you would search for a product, and it will come up with the exact product. And then once you have established that, you can see what it is and then you can action. So I, for example, have tried to create a new listing for this and it has not worked. And now Amazon have come back and said to me, please send me pictures of what the issue is and we'll try to action and help you. Now, it's very, very annoying and slow and laborious. And sometimes when you get a product stuck in this position, the best thing to do is to create a removal order back to yourselves and send the product back into Amazon. Because it's very, very difficult. Sometimes it takes many different customer service assistants to get your listing back up and working. Now, for some reason, this product does not exist in my library. So if I go into infantry and I manage my infantry, it basically comes up with a list of all the products I've ever added, and it is not in there. Now, I don't know how I would get a product to Amazon without actually listing the product. But yeah, and obviously labeling it and all that sort of thing. But I guess you could just bang it in a box and send it there, and obviously it would come up similar to this, but I would label every product, add it to inventory and stuff like that. So unfortunately, I'm not really sure how to get this. So what I will do is I'll try another couple of times, and I probably will just create the removal order, and it will take about a week, and just send it back in, and just you have to accept it. But as a virtual assistant, you may have to inform your hiring Amazon sellers. Basically bring it to their attention, because they'll want to make a decision what they would like to do with this, because if it sits here, it will just sit here and nothing will ever happen to it, and it will be stuck, and you are basically just wasted 6 units of this product. And any more products that appear here are if a product actually is flagged as having a price issue. So if you're using Amazon's automatic pricing system through here, which you as a virtual assistant may never actually use, you may actually be doing sort of a third party, but this is their very basic repricing. If you do that and Amazon think that your pricing's not in the criteria you've set, it will pull it out of the listing and it will appear stranded, and you will have to go and amend the prices and basically activate the listing again, which isn't as hard, but it would appear here and you wouldn't have your listing as live. And another one would be if a product goes into hazmat, meaning it could be hazardous. While it's being inspected, it will go into here as well. and then you'll see it. For example, I had one in here the other day. I left it, and 3 days later, it's now gone back onto the listing automatically. So, but it will appear here as a stranded product, and that is mainly what you'll find in stranded products. So that's fine. It may be that the Amazon business owner might want you to weekly just review this and advise of any changes. But unfulfillable inventory is something you're going to have to keep a firm eye on. And I will have a couple of blurred products down this list. I will have this section blurred just so that obviously the data is a bit sensitive. But you don't really know what the products are as such. You actually just mainly need to know what this section is. And I'll explain this. So you can see here I've got a list of many different products, and it will say how many of that item I've got. So if we click here, you'll see distributed damage here for this one. Click this one, it's got a 1 distributed damage and 3 warehouse damage. And we can just see what else have they got. Warehouse damage, and there's different meanings for different things. That was a defective, okay. That was carrier damage, not sure exactly what that is, but okay. Warehouse and warehouse. Now you can get customer damage as well. I'm not sure. Okay, there we go. Customer damage. That's the main ones you'll see. So the ones I've just shown you are the main ones you'll see. So you'll mainly see warehouse damage, customer damage, distributor damage, and defective. Now you have a choice of what you want to do. The reason they're in this section is because they are not fit to sell anymore. They are not sellable items. For example, warehouse damage. It might be that the product's completely damaged and it's not able to be sold. They dropped the item, it's broken, they bashed it, they've broken it, and that's Amazon in their warehouse have done that. Now the good thing about this is that they are meant to then refund you because they broke it. You broke it, you bought it. They broke it, so they will refund you within about 28 to 30 days. And so you just leave. All of the products that are warehouse damage are the best outcome for any of these. And you would just leave them and they will reimburse you for these products over time. So within 30 days from when it appears in here, you should be reimbursed. And obviously you might think, well, what happens if I don't? And that is why you would do the inventory adjustment report on episode 1, I believe I did it on, which then makes sure that these products are paid correctly and are paid, because after the 30 days or the 28 days, these products disappear and you will not be able to see them on this list, on this unfulfillable inventories list. So you always have to remember what you've had in this section, because as soon as they've gone, you've forgotten about them. And that's why you would follow up with the inventory adjustment report that I obviously have mentioned in the other video, and these two then complement each other to make sure that, for example, this is worth $13.70. Now 6 of them, that's looking at £60–70. This item here, £15, and there's 4 of them. If you add up all this money, it's starting to get into a couple of £100 just in maybe 1 month that they should be paying me back. And if you don't follow up on that, you're losing £100 a month potentially. You don't always have a lot in this. You don't always have as many as this. You might only have a couple, but it just depends. It's very random. And let's go over some more. So if you see a customer damage, that is basically when a customer buys a product, he tries it and doesn't like it, opens it, uses it, does something to it, but really feels like they don't want the item anymore. So they do what Amazon do best, because that's what you can do with Amazon. Within 30 days, you can return it, even if you do not like it, like you can with everywhere you go. You go to Argos, you buy a kettle, you open it, you don't like it, you can take it back. Okay? So with that, I would say just leave it for that 28 to 30 days, but it's most likely that you might as well just get rid of it, and it might as well just let it do its thing. Sometimes you're reimbursed and sometimes you're not. Now, of course, warehouse damage, you can ignore. Warehouse, we've gone over that. Distributor damage, again, you should also be refunded for distributor damage. So as well, if it is distributor damage, that is fine. I do not know what carrier damage is, and that's the only one I've had on courier damage, so we'll just leave that one for now. Now for this one, you can see it says defective. Now what happens with this is that I would say you have a choice on anything that's defective like this. This is usually when a customer says that something was broken when they received it, or the product does not work. So customer damage will mean that they probably opened it and decided they do not want it and they send it back. So you can recall it to yourself and keep it, sell it second hand, because it's probably just got a little bit of cosmetic damage. But with defective, it usually means that they've opened it, it doesn't work, or they've used it and they don't, they've been using it and it's not what they thought, or it was received broken and bashed. So I would say at most you can either recall these if you want, because it doesn't cost a lot, or you can just go here, click removal order, and instead of recalling that product on the removal order, you can just click a button that says dispose of. Let's see if we can just do this relatively easy. So you would go into that doesn't actually let you. So what you do is you click the removal order there. Again, some information will be blocked out because it has my home address and stuff. And you can see here it says instead of ship back, it says dispose of. You click, your quantity is selected as 1 or 2 or however many you've got. Continue and then go OK. And what will happen is it will in time get destroyed. And you will pay a small fee for that, but it means you don't have to worry about it. There's no point recalling it and then having clutter your house, for example. And yeah, so those are the ones you've got to be careful of. And also, over time, now and then, you may have grocery items. And what happens if they do not sell, or Amazon periodically realize, figure out what they are? It might say expired. Now, it depends on how many you buy at a time, and it might be that they have realized that the expiry date is slightly different to what you said it was, or whatever. So what I would do with these is usually recall them, check the expiry date because they can get it wrong, and either keep the product for myself because it is a grocery item or household item, or so you can probably just have it for yourself. It could be like snacks, it could be like sort of parcel, it could be nappies, you might have children, or you can send it back in if you think it's okay to sell or whatever. Those sort of products, I don't mind them expiring sometimes because they're usually relatively cheap, a couple of pounds, and that's just sort of part of the game really. Again, that's a food item, but it's warehouse damage, so that's fine. And those are sort of what you need to keep on top of, because depending on the state that it is or the type it's in, you either leave them or you're probably going to have to take action. So for an expired item, as soon as I see the expired item there, I'm removing the order back to me. I'm not leaving it and waiting, but anything that's warehouse damage or distributor damage, I'm leaving. Anything that says basically defective, I'm either destroying straight away or bringing it back to me. And it's just keeping this section nice and manageable and clean. And then to obviously make sure you're getting your money back properly, you would do the inventory adjustment report. That's on episode 1 to mop up any errors that they have done for this sort of product and this sort of thing. So yeah, that is something that as a business owner, they would want to know what is in this area, which every week you can either do a chart or you can just inform them, what's new compared to last week. This may need destroying, this may need destroying, what would you like to do? And that way you're able to keep this nice and manageable, and sort everything out as fast as you can. Take action, be proactive rather than reactive with these things, because this can soon get out of control, and you could potentially lose some money. So yeah, that's going to be the end for the episode, and I'll see you on the next video.